Hello, I'm Anthony David Hobbs, and this is my review of the movie Fantastic Voyage. And, well, it's a big deal because it's 50 years old. And yes, anything's a big deal when it's 50 years old. And yes, it's a really brilliant film, yeah. And, well, when I was 6 years old, I read a book, well, no, it was read to me. But anyway, it was a story about this boy that shrinks, and he's so small that he cannot be seen. And I found that hard to believe. That's impossible. Nothing can be so small that it cannot be seen. That's impossible. No. If I can't see something, it's not there. That was my belief at the time. But how ignorant can you be? Now, I found out years later, no, that's not unusual. There are many, many things, both living and dead, that are microscopic, And, well, anyway. When I was about 10, I saw the movie Inner Space. I didn't see it when it was brand new, saw it when it was on the telly. And, oh yeah, my dad, he watched Inner Space with me, and he said it was just like the movie Fantastic Voyage, and I didn't know what he was talking about, but he told me about the story, the gist of it, and also, it's a different story, but it's the same, concept of being shrunk to microscopic size, going inside the human body. And, yes, he hadn't seen Fantastic Voyage for, well over 20 years, and he was about 18 when he saw it, but he told me all the story in vivid detail, all of this from memory, But then Fantastic Voyage is quite a memorable story, yes, it does stick out in your mind, yeah. And, yes, Inner Space, well the thing is, Inner Space, I remember thinking it was greatly influenced by an episode of Muppet Babies, when they shrink someone and put them inside someone's body, but then I realised that no, Muppet Babies, the episode in the late 80s, that wasn't original either. They got their idea from something else, but I didn't know what it was. Then I found out they got the idea from Fantastic Voyage. Yes, Fantastic Voyage was the first to do this idea. Basically, it's not set in the future. I assumed it was, because of the really advanced technology. No, it's set when it was made in the mid-60s, and it's technology that can shrink anyone or anything to microscopic size, but only for 60 minutes. Anyway, this man, who's a defector from the other side of the baddie spies, has joined the goodies. The baddies have tried to kill him, so they haven't killed him. He's gotten a bad bash on the head. They've rushed him to the secret base hospital. They can't operate on his brain on the outside, so they have to operate on the inside. And the only way they can do that is to shrink a crew inside a submarine, inject it into his neck, get there, and, yes, get rid of a blood clot in his brain to save his life. Because he has vital information. He knows how to, make the shrinking technology more advanced, to perfect it, yeah. And, okay, good things and bad things about Fantastic Voyage. Well, first of all, yes, some of the special effects are a little dated, yes. I mean, there's a bit when they're swimming, they're supposed to be swimming through water inside the human body, but it's obvious they're not in water at all. They're just in air on wires. There's no water in that particular set at all, but you're not supposed to notice, yeah. Another thing is, Raquel Welch, yes, she is an actress I admire. She has done some very good films. Now, she's well endowed, has big breasts, and she doesn't actually show cleavage, but in her skin-tight suit she has the zip down right to the area just above the breast. Was that really necessary? I mean, I'm all for women dressing sexily, but, time and a place. Is that really appropriate for a sci-fi adventure? Well, it was acceptable in the 60s, yeah. Oh, and plus, maybe they had the sexy Raquel Welch, well, for two reasons. To get a bigger audience, yes, they didn't just want sci-fi fans, they wanted as many people as possible to watch this film. And because she just had a huge hit with 1 Million Years BC. And, yeah, that was released earlier in the same year. So how cool is that, having two big hit films inside the same year, yeah. Anyway, and we have Donald Pleasance, and spoiler alert, he turns out to be a baddie. He's a double agent. And he used to be claustrophobic, but he's quite gotten over it, but he has these little spouts of claustrophobia now and again. After he tries to sabotage the mission, he fails, yes, but in spite of that, the goodies try and rescue him from this big jelly thing that kills him. Now, what is the thing that kills him? I'm not sure myself. Is it a white blood cell, or is it a germ? Whatever it is, it's a huge jelly that tries to consume him up, yeah. And it's sort of symbolic, because what a way to go for a man that suffers from claustrophobia. As he's being absorbed, he shouts, "Get me out! Get me out! Get me out!" Yes, that's a pretty horrible way to go. And yes, things go wrong on the mission. Yeah, for a start, when they're in the neck, a bit of water current pushes them way off course, so they have to completely, take a new route. Yeah, I thought, how come we couldn't see that current? We couldn't see it before because it was so small. We can see it now because we are small. Yeah, and Proteus, good name for the submarine because it's like the size of a protozoa. Yeah. So, and yes, I think when we see all the blood cells moving about everywhere, it's very like psychedelia, yes, which was trendy at the time and was trendy for the next 10, 12 years, yes, this psychedelic thing, yeah. And yeah, it's amazing how the human body, humans have been here for over 2 million years, but there's still so much we don't know about the human body. And it is thought-provoking, because when I first saw it, I thought, well, yeah, shrinking it wouldn't just be for amusing tricks, no. The ability to shrink things could be of great practical use. You could save people's lives. You could, fight diseases if you had technology that was small enough. Yeah. So yes, it is very thought-provoking, and I think, well, I'll end this review by saying part of the appeal of it is it's an incredible journey into the unknown, and yet it's inside a human body. Yeah, yes, it's very clever, that a good twist. That we're in totally unknown areas. And at the same time, it's very familiar. Yes, okay. So yes, fantastic Voyage. It is one of a kind, and it is a unique story. Okay, thank you for watching, and well, happy birthday to Fantastic Voyage. It's 50 years old. Okay, I'm Anthony Hobbs, and I'm never bored.